All right, so let's talk about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle because things in Montecito, well, they're looking a little rough. And frankly, if the sexes were reversed, if a woman was being isolated like Harry appears to be, we'd be calling it abuse. I genuinely think their dynamic is somewhat abusive, and this Montecito house, it's a gilded cage for Harry. He swapped one massive gilded cage at Windsor Castle for an even smaller one, and life for them both is clearly going downhill. I think Harry's gonna want to break free and get some of his old life back. What's really fascinating is how Meghan Markle has been revealed not by an exposé, but by her own handwriting. Experts like top graphologist Emma Bach have analyzed Meghan's perfect calligraphy, and what it reveals is pretty wild. Bach, who analyzed notes Meghan left on a wall in Jordan, says Meghan's writing radiates confidence superficially, but it's so stylized that her number one focus is clearly her image. Every letter is embellished, not for function, but for individual flair. It's all about appearance with her. More than that, Meghan's handwriting shows a lot of self-protective strokes. Letters and words like happiness and dedication are shielded, which is a classic sign of someone who protects their inner self at all costs. Her pen pressure is strong, indicating high energy and passion, but it can also tip into obsession. Bach concludes that in Meghan's world, everything must look good. Her exceptionally straight baseline, almost like she's writing on lined paper when she isn't, suggests an obsession with planning and a deep need for structure and order. And the way she crosses her ents, that points to ambition. Meghan knows what she wants, and she absolutely does not like being told what to do. But here's the kicker. Her ovals, the O shapes in words like you and yours, are tightly crossed and almost knotted. This indicates she finds it incredibly difficult to reveal what she's truly thinking, not just to the outside world, but sometimes even to herself. It's all about control with her, but also a lot about denial. I think it's clear Meghan Markle is in denial about who she really is, and often she's in denial to herself. This woman is hyper-focused on image, on control, and on making everything look perfect. It's an obsessive personality, and it leaves me wondering if we've ever really seen the real Meghan. She seems to wear a mask, perhaps because she doesn't even like her true self. It's ironic, because if she just embraced who she was, even if it wasn't a universally likable character, she might be more successful than this faux humanitarian entrepreneur persona she's trying to maintain. Now, let's compare that to Harry's handwriting. The graphologist says his style is far less managed. The wide gaps between his words suggest he needs space from others, even though Meghan thrives on attention. Solitude is essential for Harry's well-being. Interestingly, while his words are widely spaced, the letters within them are tightly packed. That suggests a man who struggles to articulate his feelings, even when he experiences them deeply. His uneven, undulating baseline indicates adaptability and emotional responsiveness, a useful trait when married to someone who, according to her handwriting, needs to order the world exactly to her liking. The downside, of course, is that he can waver under pressure. Harry's increased pen pressure compared to earlier samples suggests he's become more emotional since becoming a father. But there's also a downward tilt in parts of his writing, especially in words like courage, which almost sink in on themselves. That tells me he was tired on the day in question, and honestly, he looked it. He seemed out of sorts throughout that whole tour, like something wasn't quite right. This analysis of Harry is really interesting, especially the dynamic of him needing time alone while Meghan constantly seeks attention. We see her clinging to him. For an introvert who recharges by being alone, a partner constantly seeking validation creates a toxic dynamic. Harry appeared tense during the tour, shoulders high, eyes shifting, like he didn't know what to say. I think he might have realized, this isn't what I thought it was. Things aren't going well for him. His relationship is struggling. Meghan's constant need for control must be grating. You can adapt to a certain extent, but eventually you want to do things your way, not the Meghan Markle way. I'm sure that's causing a lot of tension at home. When the graphologist put their handwriting side by side, she said the relationship dynamic became very clear. Meghan plans and Harry adapts. She controls the image while he goes along with her narrative. She needs to be center stage, while he would often prefer to be left alone. In terms of parenting, I'd imagine Harry is relaxed about the chaos of small children, while Meghan, the ultimate perfectionist, probably struggles with it, passing most of it to their nannies. The graphologist concludes that while it's a well-established partnership, their writing samples make her question its equality. Honestly, it's probably not equal at all. Meghan dominates. The house is ruled by Meghan. We even heard in a People magazine article how Meghan plans every aspect of their life. She makes all the decisions, and Harry just has to go along with it. I can imagine that's quite grating and challenging. Yes, he has adapted, but is he living the life he truly wants? I don't think so. This is the life Meghan envisions for herself. But it's gone sideways because she thought she would be a billionaire, make buckets of money, and have all her Hollywood dreams come true. It really hasn't happened for her. You have to look at this dynamic and see their failures are getting to them. Their opposite natures are getting to them. I wasn't sure if they'd make it past 5 years. If you look at the two of them, what do they truly have in common? Really nothing. Except for their children now, and being in this relationship. Harry had to give up basically every aspect of himself to please her. He is an extension of her. He might be willing to live like that for a while, but at some point, I imagine Harry will want to break free and maybe regain some aspects of his former life. And that's probably what he'll do. Their relationship is in deep trouble, and Harry can't hide it. In public, his demeanor contrasts sharply with his private self, where glimpses of the old Harry emerge. I've always given their marriage 10 years, and I still do, because he's isolated himself so much. Leaving his children is incredibly difficult for him. This was a main concern for his family and friends when he decided to leave. What are you doing? She'll take your children. You'll never get them back to the United Kingdom. He's locked in, especially with the children's ages. When Harry gave up control, a dynamic I'd argue is natural for many couples, he lost so much of himself. In royalty, you typically marry in, have children, and stay, or you return home. Even in divorce, like Peter Phillips and Autumn, she stayed in the UK despite being Canadian. But Harry's isolation from his family means the natural breakdown of his relationship, due to their lack of common ground, is now prolonged because he's stuck. He's trapped with the kids in Los Angeles without a natural out. Honestly, if the sexes were reversed and a woman was isolated like Harry, we'd call it abuse. I think their dynamic is somewhat abusive. Harry leaving wasn't natural. She forced the issue, making him think it was his idea. I believe he resents her and genuinely misses his family, still confused about how it all went wrong. Now he's in this gilded cage in Montecito, and life is going badly for them both. Financial pressures will likely be the biggest factor to hurt the relationship, and that's coming. She convinced him to leave based on a tissue of lies, making him believe his family was racist and plotting against them. It was nonsense. It took him getting out to realize he'd been misled, but by then, he was all in, convinced by his wife. The Royal Grift recently headlined Meghan Markle's sucky ideas that bombed, and the list is extensive. Disney Elephants, The Archetypes Podcast, American Riviera Orchard, The Bench, a children's book that flopped, the 40x40 initiative with no follow-up, Pearl, a children's series, never made, Meet Me at the Lake, still unmade, Live to Lead, a total flop, Invictus, Polo, not reviewed with love, and Confessions of a Female Founder. That last one had a huge launch, then tanked out of the top 100 quickly. And, of course, the Archewell Foundation. Cookie Queens has no pickup so far. It's a staggering list of disasters in a short period. Entrepreneurs fail, but usually they focus on one business. She fails quickly and moves on just as fast, never trying to turn things around. Meghan hasn't learned from her failures. Failure should be a teaching moment, a chance for a deep dive, but she never learns. She constantly regurgitates tired narratives about women being oppressed, feminism, and fighting for women. This narrative no longer appeals to many people. Her overly woman-focused initiatives haven't worked out. Nothing really has. If she had hired the right people to run the business and stepped aside, just being the face with some creative input, she might be on a gold mine. But she didn't. Her biggest mistake is thinking she's always right, and she isn't. She has poor instincts and isn't a creative. She constantly regurgitates what others do because she lacks the ability to think for herself, to create something new and interesting. She never learns or evaluates failures to improve. So we see the same slop, and people are completely over it. She's seeing the results now. If she doesn't change something, American Riviera Orchard will be a catastrophic flop with massive inventory she can't offload and millions of their money invested that she can never get back. It's ironic, if Meghan Markle wasn't Meghan Markle, the Meghan Markle business could have